Hi friends, welcome to Crack Gateway. We are back with an important lecture series that we are running in our YouTube channel from the current affairs series, and we bring out to you the current affairs of 14th and 15th November 2021. So as you all know that we bring out this news considering your specifically phase 2 examinations, right? So any news in this video lecture is very important for your examinations like RBI, NABARD. So I hope your NABARD examination was well and SEBI. So we hope to see SEBI and RBI notification in the coming days. Okay, considering the left out, the last 1 month to next year, right? So let's begin with the first news article. That is the first installment of PMAY Gramin, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin. Now, the Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi transferred the first installment of PMAYG to more than 1.47 lakh beneficiaries of Tripura. More than 700 crore were credited directly to the bank account of beneficiaries on the occasion. So, directly, so using direct benefit transfer technology, right? Using Jandhan Aadhaar Mobile Trinity, right? Now, you see that this news is from a specific state news, Tripura. Okay, so now you see that this news is important because the definition of kacha house has been changed specifically for this state. Now, what is the definition is absolutely, not that detail is not required, but you should know that from the entire country, Tripura has a different definition of kacha house from the other places of India, right? Which has enabled such a large number of beneficiaries living in kacha houses to get assistance to construct a pakka house. Okay, the collateral free loan to SHGs has been doubled to 20 lakh rupees. So let's move to the next news article, that is health sector grant. See, whenever you see this word grant, this means the union government is giving some amount of money to the state government, right? So the Department of Expenditure, Ministry of Finance has given out an amount of rupees 8,453.92 crore. Okay. To whom? To rural and urban local bodies of 19 states. So you see the devolution, or no, this is not devolution. This is from the 15th Finance Commission, right? The amount is getting transferred from the Central Union Ministry to the urban and rural local bodies directly, right? So you see there is state government in between, right? So this is one of the unique feature of 15th Finance Commission. And now when I say 15th Finance Commission, I would like to remind you in our YouTube channel there is a very good video of the 15th Finance Commission. If you haven't watched that video, go and watch. If you have watched that video and if you are confident that you remember everything, fine. But if you are not so confident, then I think that you should spare few minutes watching that video and learning the concepts of 15th Finance Commission, because in the RBI Grade B syllabus it is specifically written as 14th Finance Commission, right, and 15th Finance Commission. So see, every time latest is important along with the comparatively what was there in the last. Okay, when I say like there is some unique feature in 15th Finance Commission, then I'm comparing it with some other report, right? So I'm comparing it with the 14th Finance Commission. So that is how you need to, study. Now, since we have lots of time, your NABARD exam is in. So now if you are preparing for RBI, SEBI and NABARD if you have the age. And if you are preparing for all these three examinations, use this time judiciously to learn the concepts first, right? Rest everything can be done. Because if your concepts are clear, the MCQs and the descriptive part is a cakewalk for you. Then let's move forward. The 15th Finance Commission in its report for 21-22. So 15th Finance Commission has given two reports, one for particular 1 year, the other from the next 5 years. To 25-26 has recommended total grant of 4,27,911 crore to local government. Right? So This was the news. So let's move forward to the next news article, that is Tele Law mobile app. So see, by the name itself it is clear. Tele means telephone, law. Okay, means law over the telephone or something like that. Yes, you guessed it right. Union Minister of Law and Justice Shri Kiran Rajju launched the Citizen Tele Law mobile app. So the Union Minister, you know, has launched and has announced that Tele Law is expanded to 75,000 Gram Panchayat, covering over all states and UT as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Now see, this scheme was launched in 2017 by the Department of Justice. Why? Because many a times, even see me and you, right? We are reading current affairs. We know, you know, more than average about what is going there in the economy. Still, when it comes to law, we are confused. We do not know the actual understanding of the law. So we will have to maybe refer the advocate or the person who knows law. So this is uh, being done to empower the people in the panchayats, means in the rural India, because in the rural India police advocate is a is fear for them, because they think even if they are even if they know that they will get the justice, they do hesitate, because they think that this is not uh, something that or I or we should take. But things are changing over the time, but still there are few rural India you will find people, right? So many of you would certainly disagree with this point, because I belong to rural India. I know the the thinking of the rural people. So what is telelaw? Now we have seen this is operational is 51,434 common service centers across 50,000 gram panchayat in 663 districts. Okay, so Telelaw leverages technology tele-video conferencing facility to connect the beneficiaries with a panel lawyer to seek legal advice and consultation of an early redressal of their grievances. Okay, so this is very good initiative, because this is like directly empowering the rural people, to come and have their grievances sorted out. Because many a times even you and me may think this is right, but when it comes to law, we may be wrong. So it is better to be an informed person rather than an ignorant. And that is what, this type of initiative fills the gap. Now, let's move to number 4, Duari Ration. So this is a scheme launched by the West Bengal. So I will tell you one of the, very good, whenever you read this word, Duari, right? So this is a Bengali word. Whenever you read this word, you can, close your eyes and mark West Bengal as an answer if the question asks which state, or this scheme is related to which state. So now, after the Mamata Banerjee, the Chief Minister of West Bengal, has won for the second time, so she has changed almost all the names of her scheme to Duar. So West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has launched for providing food grains under the public distribution system at the doorstep for the entire population of the state. So this is very at one time you feel that this is very good initiative, and on the other hand, there is particular no reason for government to give it at the doorstep, because a citizen in need can go to a ration shop and get that done, right? But the government thinks otherwise, and has launched this initiative. Then, under this scheme, 10 crore people will get their ration at the doorsteps on a fixed day in every month. Then, government has to decide to enhance commission for ration dealers for from rupees 75 to 150 per quintal for free food grains. So this type of initiative is good when the times of COVID were prevailing. But when the situation is normal, there is no, you know, uh, because distributing to 10 crore people in is a very challenged kind of thing, and possibility of uh, many things can happen. Now, government has also decided to enhance commission for ration dealers. Then each dealer will be allowed to appoint at least 2% to assist them in delivering ration. So now this point is something good because now ration shop when they appoint 2%, this 2% is going to get some money, right? So this is the benefit because they are directly or indirectly they are getting employed. Simple. They will get a salary of 10,000 per month, of which government will pay 5,000 and rest will be paid by the dealer. Okay, means the commission or the money that dealer was earning to run the ration shop will come down. By doing this, 21,000 dealer would create 42,000 jobs. This is benefit. This will benefit local youth. Dealer will also get a financial assistance of 1 lakh from the government for purchasing vehicles to deliver ration. So this is again a good boost because a vehicle for this purpose would be a capital expenditure and also for the economy. This is good because let's say if there is a 1 lakh dealers, 1 lakh vehicle will be sold under this. So for this scheme, government will be spending rupees 160 crore. 160 crore is the financial outlay for this scheme. Then Delhi Declaration on Afghanistan. Now, what is Delhi Declaration? So this is something related to international relation. Okay, much detail of this news is not so important for our examination. Still, we should know what is Delhi Declaration, right? So Delhi Declaration is an initiative by India. That's why it's Delhi Declaration by the National Security Advisor Shri Ajit Doval. This was conducted between India, Russia, Iran, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and Turkmenistan. Now you see there were two more countries who were invited. One is China, other one is Pakistan. But these two countries, they had their own session. I don't know what kind of session they had. They had their own session and they decided not to join India for Delhi Declaration. Rest all the NSA were in India. So the all the NSA have discussed the situation prevailing in the Afghanistan and how things can be controlled because all these countries are neighboring Afghanistan and uh, anything situation arising out of terrorism uh, or some mischievous activity by the Taliban, things will uh, things will not be good for these countries, right? Even for India, although we do not share border, still. So this NSA have decided, and the joint declaration were called as Delhi Declaration. Emphasis on need to provide urgent assistance to Afghan people. It expressed deep concern over deterioration socio-economic and humanitarian situation in Afghanistan. It also noted the need of helping Afghanistan to contain COVID-19. So, by this news, I would also like to mention that India was supposed to send wheat by road via Pakistan. Initially, Pakistan did not allow, but later on humanitarian ground, they have allowed. And India is sending this free of cost to the people of Afghanistan, even if the Indian interests were hampered by the Taliban. So that is the level of hurt that India keeps for the world and for the people of Afghanistan as well. Then number 6 is Climate Change Performance Index, right? So published annually since 2005. The Climate Change Performance Index is an independent monitoring tool for tracking the climate protection performance of 60 countries and the EU. The climate protection performance of those countries, which together account for 92% of global greenhouse gas emission, is assigned in 4 categories. Number 1, global house emission, renewable energy, energy use, and climate policy. So, in 4 categories. The index is published by Greenwatch and New Climate Institute and the Climate Action Network. Report was released on the sidelines of COP26 framework on climate change, framework convention on climate change. Okay? Let's move forward and let's see what is there in the report. So see, as per the report, okay, no country performed well. So this means rank 1, 2, 3. Okay, rank 1 to 3 is blank. Means no country has achieved this standard to be kept as 1, 2, 3. The first three position is kept blank. Okay, then the country with high ranking also have no reason to ease up. Even greater efforts and action by government are needed to set the world on track to keep the global warming well below 2% increase, 2 degree centigrade increase, even better 1.5 degree increase. Okay, so what is the rank of India? The rank of India is 10th. You see, the rank of India is 10th. Now, let's see some specific mentions for India. Still, no country rates very high in global house gases emission category, but with the United Kingdom, Mexico, India, and Germany, two more G20 countries than in last year edition received an overall high rank rating. So, India is rated high in global house gases emission category, not in overall index. Point to be noted. India joins Brazil, Indonesia, Turkey, and as the only G20 country. Means out of this India, Brazil, Indonesia, and Turkey, India is the only G20 country rating high in the renewable energy category. So there are four categories, right? So even in renewable energy category, India has rated high. The United Kingdom's performance, however, falls from high to medium in this category, right? Then France, China, United Kingdom, and India under the 18 country earning a high rating in the climate policy category. Climate policy, right? So you see that India has performed much better than the most developed nation when it comes to climate change performance index. Even though, even though India is one of the biggest, consumer, or it's not consumer, what we can say, India India's consumption of coal is way higher than any other country. After China, India consumes coal the most. Even if that is there, we see that India is rated high because the other things in India is going at a very higher rate, like EV adoption, solar panel adoption, right? Renewable energy capacity building, etc., etc. Okay, then railway electrification, right? Because the diesel engine in railway again, first is the import bill on the diesel, and the second is the emission because diesel engine is uh, emitting a lot of carbon. So electrification will reduce that. Then let's move forward to number 7, Food Security Museum. So Food Security Museum came at that place where the birthplace of FCI is, right? So this is the only thing that you should know about this new. But it was built at a cost of rupees 1.10 crore at an area of 1860 square feet. Let's move forward to the next news article, that is India has its way in COP26 deal on coal usage. Right? So what happened here, So when the COP26 summit was summing up, right? So many negotiators, okay, negotiators from nearly 200 countries has accepted a new climate agreement after the COP26 summit in Glasgow. And it was in a hurry because most of the countries were, considering phase out fossil fuels. But when it comes to India and China, they were not ready. Because India and China, if you see, still in the last news, we have seen that our data on the climate performance index is way high. Still, India is ramming up its coal production. Even China is doing the same. Right? To meet internal demands, we have electricity demand, and most of our electricity demand is being fulfilled by the thermal power station, and that is where the coal is getting consumed. Right? And then next is the industrial purpose. Even they have, even if the industry uses electricity, somewhere or the other hand, this electricity is coming from the thermal power station. So more or less the same thing. Now, these negotiators, have changed from phase out to phase down, considering tough negotiation from India and China. Negotiations or interventions, you can say. So after a hurdle between the envoys from India, China, US, and EU. So from the US and EU as well, because in US, 27% of the carbon is getting released through industries, right? No, at 27% is overall, and this is mostly by the consumption of coal, and in EU at 17%. So there would be tough negotiation. They cannot phase out immediately. That will need time. So facing down is the next solution came up in the COP 26. Okay, now let's move forward in the next news article, that is National Achievement Survey 2021. This is called NAS 21. Right? This was objective based examination in three different categories. In grade 3 category, grade 8 and grade 11. Okay, in grade 3 it had uh, grade 3 and 5 language, EVS, mathematics. Grade 8 had science, mathematics, social science. Grade 10 had science, mathematics, social science, and English. This was an objective based examination. This was conducted by the CBSE. The curriculum has been prepared by the NCERT. The last survey was at 2017, and in 2020, due to COVID, it was not possible, but in 21, they took the survey. So it happened in 12th November. So in one of the video, you have seen that we have discussed that NAS survey was taken on 12th of November 2021. With this, we have come to the end of this lecture. We wish you very good luck from Team B for your upcoming examinations. We hope you are preparing well. Thank you and